Hey everybody, this is Richard Barker with Follow Up Spark. I just want to give you a quick overview as to what to do when you have just been given a brand new Follow Up Spark account. So you've had it set up, and now what do you do? Well, when you first log in, you're going to be taken to the dashboard. You'll obviously see that it's pretty much empty at the moment. This becomes a really powerful dashboard in time, but for now, obviously, nothing has been done in there. What you want to do is you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom and go to settings, and you just want to make sure that your business name and address has been filled out correctly, and you want to make sure that you are in the correct time zone. So make sure your business is correct, you're in the right time zone. You don't have to worry about filling any of these boxes out other than whatever business name you give this is what you are going to be called inside a Follow Up Spark, and that's what's going to appear on invoices, etc. You are going to want to upload a logo just by clicking on change so that your business logo is the thing that sits on all the invoices and contracts and communication. So step one would be go to your business profile from settings, upload your logo, make sure everything looks correct. Don't worry about authorized representative. Don't worry about business info. You don't need any of that. Don't worry about this general area. Everything's been turned off. However, if you start to get messages from somebody on Facebook and you already have them as a contact in your contact manager, you want to probably merge the two together so that you don't have two separate contacts. So you don't want duplicate contacts. You want just one single contact. Obviously, you can read through this. General is self-explanatory. If you want to have every message go out with a reply stop to unsubscribe on your text or on your email, you can. Most of the stuff here you don't really want to worry about. Um, don't worry about this trigger and campaigns. This is old. It's going to disappear soon. Missed call text back. Do not check this. You want to make sure this is disabled because we are going to do it through an automation instead. You are going to want to upload a voice message so that it replaces the generic one that you get when you first have an account. And you see this slider here. This is how many times your real phone rings before it actually then goes to the missed call text back and gets accepted by Follow Up Spark. You want to just set it on the lowest one. So just put it about here, which means your phone's not going to time out. It's just going to ring for a second or two, and then Follow Up Spark's going to pick it up. It's a legal thing that we have to do, but don't worry too much. Just make sure this little setting is here. Upload your recording. I have one that I did earlier on right here. It's a voicemail. Hi, this is Richard Barker with the National Entertainment Group. So I'm going to upload this so that it ends up replacing the generic one. You can actually hear it in here. Make sure it's correct. Yep, I'm good to go because I hit save and we are all set. So now also when I go to settings again, that was business profiles. You'll see everything is saved. And when you go down to my profile, you'll see that that is all correct as well. So just make sure that this is all set up, which it is. It's all looking good. Don't worry too much about any of this. You're going to do this in a minute. Email two-way sync is a way to start receiving Gmails inside of your Follow Up Spark. Again, pretty self-explanatory. If you want to get your Outlook emails inside a Follow Up Spark as well, you can. You can integrate with Zoom. You can integrate with Outlook. These settings here for availability settings are actually going to be done inside of the calendar, so don't worry too much about any of this. When you go to staff, you're going to see that this is where you had a team member set up, which obviously is you. If you want to create another team member, you just click the green button and you would just create another team member or a virtual assistant. You would assign them a password. The only difference is your user role, you're going to give them user and not admin. If you give them admin, they get access to everything. So you don't want to do that. You want to give them user. And also turn off the things you don't want them to have access to. So if you are adding another team member, start turning things off that you don't want somebody to get a hold of. So this area here is really cool. Your business settings are what is going to do your voicemail settings. Just make sure that your phone number that we selected for you when we set you up is actually sitting in here, and just set again a quick timeout there. Hit save, and that's all you have to do. All right. The rest of this calendar, we're going to obviously integrate and set up a calendar. We're obviously going to start to look at the other things we can integrate. And of course, I'm using the word integrate because the next thing you want to do is integrate your site. So go to settings, go to integrations, and you want to integrate your Google Calendar if you have one, and your Gmail if you have one, your Facebook, your Instagram. You want to start connecting those together. So you're going to sign in. This is where you have hundreds of different Gmails. So I have one here that's specific to the National Entertainment Group, which is the one I'm going to set up. Hit next. There's the password. Hit next. It's going to send me a text verification. So let me just put in the code. Here it is. Got from my phone. Just hit next. You're going to allow all the permissions. So just make sure they're all selected, which they are by default. And that ends up setting up your Google account. Which business do you want to link the account to? At the moment, I don't have a Google My Business or Google Business Profile, which is essentially a Google Maps location for this brand new business. So I don't have one, so I'm going to close it. But if I did have a Google My Business or Google Business Profile, which is part of Google Maps, it would show up in here and I would be able to choose it. So I'm just going to close that. But I am set up. And if I had an analytics account, which I don't, it would show me there. It would show me if I had any other accounts and any other account IDs, I would be able to integrate them, but I do not. So at the moment, I just have a Gmail address that's actually integrated. I don't have an ads account and everything, but I do have accounts that have all of this that will pre-fill. For example, if I quickly go, or I'm not going to be able to show you on this demo, but if I was to go to another one of my accounts, it would actually show me my analytics, my AdWords, my AdSense, and everything else. I do not have this. This is a brand new account. Obviously, select a Google My Business page. Like I mentioned, I do not have one set up for this account. If you have one set up, it means that you went to Google Maps and you were able to set this up. Mine is empty, as I just showed you a minute ago. I'm going to connect with Facebook. Again, this is a brand new account, so it's pretty primitive with what I have got in here. And I actually do not have a Facebook page that can integrate with this at the moment either. So I'm just going to come out of that. But if you had a Facebook page, you would link it. It would actually show up on the drop down and you would be able to link it. I do not. I would need to create one. So if you don't have one, create one. And if you do, great. But it's connected and it's going to show you whatever your account is, whatever your messenger is, and whatever your Instagram is. So basically, if you have all that real estate, just follow the steps and make sure everything is integrated. Okay. The other thing in settings is you can go to your phone number. This was one that you were given when your account was first set up. And the little pencil icon down the bottom on the right is where you can give it a name if you wanted to instead of just the number. I prefer to just have the number. You can forward the calls if you want to, but you would lose the missed call text back. You can use all these other features. You do want to select Enable Call Connect. This is good because it's going to ring your mobile phone. I don't want to announce that this call is coming in from a certain source, and I don't want to announce that this call is being recorded. I've already set my incoming call timeout in the other screen, so I'm good to go on that one. But that's just to let you know you have full flexibility, and you can also add multiple and other different numbers if you wanted to. Obviously, you'd have to pay extra for those additional numbers. Most people just need one number. Looking up and down these settings, they're the priorities that you need to look at the moment. Everything else can be left at the moment. If you wanted to build a website and you wanted it on your .com, so nationalentertainmentgroup.com, which is what this website is, you would click on domains and you would add the domain. At the moment, I've just added two. I've added my nationalentertainmentgroup.com and viralattractions.com. Very easy to do. You just click on the add button. You go ahead and add your domain that you might have registered in GoDaddy or somewhere else, and you copy and paste what it says in these instructions into the settings of whoever your domain registrar is. Once you've done that, it will say success. Sometimes it takes a bit of time to get it to actually talk to each other, but once it's successful, your domains will sit in here, and then you'll be able to start to use your domains. URL redirects is similar. If you wanted to send people from a funnel to somewhere else, you would create a udirect. Email services, by default, we take care of all your email services. However, you could also set up your own, and you could use your own Gmail account to send and receive emails, Yahoo, SendGrid. You don't actually have to use ours by default. Ours actually, though, is very good. When you click on the analytics, it's going to tell you all about your click-through rate, your open rate, your bounce rate. You can also forward your emails to a certain address. So there's plenty of different things that you're able to have control over. You can also see that if I had some tags set up or added tags, they would be listed in here. I always create one called Chat Widget. I don't know why dentist is in there. Don't need that, so I can highlight that. And if I wanted to, I'll just delete the tag dentist. But I actually could go in there and add a tag, and this would be relevant to what we're going to do next, which is we're going to create a missed call automation. So missed call would be a tag. I basically want to know every time I get a missed call, and every time it goes to voicemail or is busy, I want to be able to use Follow Up Spark to fire off an automation that the person gets for calling. So don't worry about anything else in here at the moment. The fundamental basics are you're logging in, you're going to settings, you're checking your business setup, you're checking your profile, which is very similar to the other screen we've just been on. You can add your email signature so it goes out on all the emails you send. You make sure all your staff settings, i.e. your own settings, are done in here just by filling out all the details. You can also do your signature setting in here. Some of you might not have my profile. You might just have this under my staff. It is exactly the same thing, so don't worry about it. This is more personal, and the other one is more about the business. So they're the two things you really want to touch first, and you want to make sure you're integrated with everything. Gmail, Google My Business, and a Facebook business page if you have one. I have them. It's just under another account. Okay. And once you've done that, you can go back, and your conversations tab is where you're going to receive text messages, Facebook, SMS, all of the stuff that is inbound and outbound just gets recorded in here. Now, I'm not going to cover these in any detail yet, but template is one that I want to quickly show you. If somebody keeps inquiring about a certain thing, how much do you charge for a certain product or a service? You can create a text message template or an email template, and then just keep sending one of those inside the conversations tab. So you would write out the template of what you want it to say or what you want it to respond like, and then you don't have to keep typing it out as a text or as an email. So this is your conversations templates. Really handy feature. Don't get this confused with website templates or templates for social media. That's completely different things where you're just editing templates. These templates are for your conversations, so you don't have to keep sending the same email or typing it and writing it out. You can actually just use a template when you come to formulate an email or a text. Okay. Calendar, you're going to want to go through the settings, and you're going to want to make sure that everything is set up. So the first thing you would do is create a calendar. You would make sure you've got all your preferences looking good and set up, all your work hours. What kind of work hours do you want if you indeed book appointments? Do you want to integrate? And if you do, with what? So here's my Google integration. Um, Check for conflicts on these different calendars. Well, I already got my main one in here, so that's good. My main calendar. Two-way syncing is simply if I book an appointment on Gmail, it blocks it out in Follow Up Spark. If I book an appointment in Follow Up Spark, it blocks it out on Google. So really, really cool. So you definitely want to set up your calendar, especially if you're the kind of person that relies on booking clients. You can have an unlimited amount of calendars all set up, all pointing to the same Outlook or to the same Google Calendar. As you see here, you can share your scheduling link, you can deactivate it, you can copy the code and paste it into a website. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can edit the calendar by giving it a name and a description. You can even edit the URL. You can actually have a logo on your calendar. You can give it an appointment title. This is what would appear on Google Calendar. A meeting location. This would be a Zoom link or a physical link. You can integrate with a calendar, so it's two-way syncs up. As we mentioned before, mine is two-way syncing. Play around with this because sometimes two-way doesn't work. Sometimes you just want it one way. Sometimes you just want to disable the triggers that fire off appointment sequences. But when you're ready, all you do is set up your calendar to how you want it with your availability. How long is your time slots? So just go through and look at how this best works for you. How many appointments? How many appointments will you see per day? What is the duration of an appointment? What is the scheduling notice that you need? Is it 1 day? How far out can they book you? Is it 60? What are your office hours? Good thing about this, if I put mine's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., I can apply it to all. I don't work Friday, so just deselect that, save and continue. And you just fill in the prompts. So this is my name of the calendar, book with me for questions. They can receive notifications. I don't want to automatically approve my appointments. I'll turn that off. I do want Google to fire off an invitation. I want them to reschedule. So just follow the prompts, write a custom message once they've booked an appointment with you. And so you definitely want to set up a calendar, spend some time looking at that. There's lots of YouTube videos on how to set up the calendar inside of our Follow Up Spark YouTube channel. So that is something you want to make sure you've got your especially if you're using a calendar a lot. And I say, if you have more than one calendar, they'll just be in the drop down right there. You can see all your appointments by clicking appointments. There are no appointments in here yet, but if there were, you'd see a list of names, dates, times. You'd also see them listed on your calendar. So definitely get that set up. You'll see the contacts area. This is where all your contacts are. Now, I have been playing around with this account, but for example, you would start off blank, and anytime somebody calls your number, they become a contact. So they end up getting in here. You're able to see your contacts. You're able to see exactly who they are. You're able to see what kind of communication and correspondence you've had with them. Super easy. There's so much you can do with a contact. There's so much you can do in editing your contact and fill in all these different. We'll cover this in more detail, but just know you can add notes, you can create tasks, you can set up an appointment, you can send an email or a text message, all from within this dashboard. The contacts area is amazing. Opportunities, if you're familiar with Salesforce, you are able to create opportunities so you can track a lead that becomes a booked lead. What dollar amount were they? Was a lead won, lost? So I won't cover too much of opportunities but just know that this is a really good way of tracking leads. Obviously, if you want to accept payments, you would make sure you integrate with a payment gateway, Authorize.net, Stripe, PayPal. So you would integrate with one of these first. Then you're able to create products and you're able to sell the products. You're able to create invoices and send invoices, make subscriptions, see all your transactions, look at all your products, create coupons. Lots of things you can do in this payment area. In the marketing tab, you can obviously integrate with your social media planner. And this is really cool because you can post to more than one social media location. And when you integrate this and set this all up, it's a really good way to keep an eye out and make sure you're consistently promoting and posting. Your email area, this is going to be like your MailChimp, your Constant Contact, creating templates and creating emails, and then being able to fire them out. Okay. So some of you might have a weekly newsletter. You can do that in here. You can create social media posts and create them in there. The automation is a really important area because this is where you can set something up so that it fires off on a particular prompt. So like in here, if someone texts the word viral to the number, this would then fire off a workflow and it would actually just fire off this text. So when someone texts the word viral, it will fire this off. So this is an area that is a really useful place to start setting up automations. And the two that you need is when somebody fills out a chat widget, you need an automation. So somebody comes and fills out your chat widget, which is the little bubble that is appearing on your website. They fill it out. It's going to wait a minute. It's going to send a text to them. It's going to send an email to them. It's going to tag them chat widget, and it's going to notify you internally or by text. So this one is by text that somebody filled out the chat widget on your website. So you want to set up one of those, and you want to set up a missed call text back, which I will show you in another video. Most of you have the missed call text back already set up, but automations really get to learn and know about these. Once you set up one, they become easy. And of course, if you create a workflow, we also have templates that you can use and then simply edit and customize. Okay. In the site tab, this is where you can create funnels, you can create websites, you can create blogs, you can import and look at your WordPress, you can create a membership site, you can create forms for people to fill out, you can create surveys for people to fill out, you can upload all your media so that you don't have to keep searching for it. It's always in one place just by opening the library. I do have some media in here. The important thing I want you to do is on a brand new account is go to the chat widget. You're going to want to customize the look and feel of the chat widget. So you want to enable the chat bubble. You want to make sure the intro message is relevant. Hi there, have a question, text us here. So that's good. Have an image, a message for return visitors. Fill out the widget window, have a question, ask for email. Do you want a legal message underneath it? I don't like those because you don't have to have one. Set a color that's relevant to your website. So whatever color you choose is the look and feel of your chat widget. On the acknowledgement, do you want it to say anything else? Thank you. We'll be in touch with you shortly. And then once you've set up this, all you have to do is get the code and literally paste this body code here. Copy the code in the body or the footer section of your website. Now, every website builder like Wix or GoDaddy or WordPress is going to be slightly different. So just know you want to put it into a section where you can typically copy and paste script, HTML or copy code script. Okay, if you get stuck, let me know. It's very easy to copy this and just paste it into the footer or into the body of a particular area. Now, the good news is if you actually build your websites in here, so you build a website or you build a funnel, then you can literally, in your settings of that web page, and you'll see this is where it's sitting on the domain that I brought in, you can actually already have it show the chat widget here. So you don't have to copy and paste any code. It's already enabled right here. Anytime you upload an image, obviously some images are massive, you can just enable this so it loads even faster. So super easy to create a website. It's super easy to edit the page of a website. It literally is a drag and drop builder. It can sit on the domain of whatever you actually wanted to load in here. It's a very simple process. You click on one of these little buttons, you create a column, you create now something to go in that column. Could be a header, paragraph, a button, could be a video, could be an image, could be whatever you want in here. Could be a map, a review, um, just a quick overview, but you can start to think about having your websites hosted in here and having your funnels hosted in here and actually sitting on your that sit on your domain. It's much more less of a headache than having third party stuff everywhere. So these are the things really to focus on. Get comfortable with the conversations tab, get your calendar set up, get your chat widget set up, which is in sites, and then you're off to the races, okay? And then, of course, in the conversations tab, if somebody calls you or texts you on your number, it will actually appear in this conversations area too. The automation for what to do when you get a missed call, most of you already have it set up, but if you haven't, you just go to create workflow, and right here you go to the auto missed call text back, which has already been made. It's going to pre-populate it. So now you're just able to make some quick edits. So I'm going to set mine up so that auto missed call text back. If I get an incoming call that's missed, busy, or voicemail, it's going to fire off, and it's going to wait for 2 minutes just so it doesn't feel like a bot. I'm only going to have it fire off between 9 and 5 because that's my business hours. You can change any of this. So basically, if somebody calls you at 9 p.m. at night, it's not going to fire off a missed call text until the following morning at 9 a.m. This is really cool because you're engaging them in conversation, right? That when they're calling you out of hours, or even when they're calling you in hours, but you're busy, it's going to strike up a text message conversation. It's been proven 86% of all text messages are answered within the first 5 minutes, and people love to respond to getting text messages, and it increases the way you book clients. So, assign to user, if you have more than one user in your account, you would choose who you're assigning it to. It's only me in here at the moment. Add a contact tag. What do I want to call it? We're going to call it missed call. Remember, we created that earlier on. Hit save. Let's send a text to them. So don't forget, it's going to wait 2 minutes and then it's going to say, hey there, sorry we missed your call. How can we help? I like to make this a little bit better. Hey there, sorry we missed your call. What is a good time to call you back? You want them to be able to answer something. And how can we help? Feel free to ask a question just by replying. And then where it says location name pre-filled, it's going to enter National Entertainment Group because that's the name of the business. So let's save that. They're going to get sent a text. Push notification. This is what's going to appear in the dashboard. It's going to be sent to the assigned user. The assigned user is me. And it just says you get a missed call from, and then the number. Please reach out ASAP. You can customize and edit all of that. It's also going to send a text message to my phone number on file. And it's going to say, hey, and it's going to actually insert my name, Richard Barker. just missed a call from, and then it's going to give the number. It's going to add a name if they're already in the contact manager. Get back to them ASAP. Again, you can edit and change any of this. And all you have to do is when you are set up is just put this over to publish and hit save. And now Follow Up Spark knows how to handle any of your missed calls. It's almost like having a back office. It's almost like having an assistant at hand. So I'm going to call my number so you can see how this works. We are going to be obviously 2 minutes away from ending this once I demo this to you. And then of course there's going to be plenty more videos. So let's call the number that I got from Follow Up Spark for this business. Here I go. I'm calling. What's good about this, it immediately, see, I'm already in the contact manager, so it's already come up with my name. But if I wasn't in the contact manager, it would just come up with the phone number only. So, of course, you'll see that I'm trying to call them. It's going to go to voicemail. It's going to become a missed call. Here it comes. And you'll see that there is the inbound call that's getting missed right now. It's going to my voicemail. Back to you as soon as possible. Make sure you include the nature of your inquiry. And that's the one I just uploaded a few minutes ago. To help you further. Thanks so much. Can somebody please help me with your services? So just hang up. And it immediately has it available. And that is the voice. And that is the voice message you just received. If you want to call this person back, just hit the green telephone. It's already going to put in your caller ID. You can either type in their number or go to your contacts. It will display your recent contacts. And if we call this person back, my phone's going to start to ring. There it is. So now my phone's ringing on my end. And whatever you decide to say is also, and I just hung up on my end. Obviously, if it went to their voicemail, you would leave a message and that would also be recorded there, as would the content of the message if they answered. Now, what's cool about this, I've got this person's contact name and email address. So down the bottom here, of course, I can send them a text or I could send them an email. And when you've integrated your payment gateway, you can start creating very fast payment invoices, which is awesome. Very quickly ask for money. And you can obviously set that up as well. So that is all working. And what's going to happen in a couple of minutes, because it was a missed call over here, is the missed call text back is going to fire in. And the missed call text back message is going to appear down here. So obviously this person gets that missed call text back. Why do they get that? Well, because we set up the automation to make sure they get a missed call text back after 2 minutes of waiting between the hours of 9 and 5. So there it is, just waiting this 2 minutes between the hours of 9 and 5. If you just wanted to have a look at who's in that wait step, you'll see I am. It's really cool that you can see that people are in that 2 minute wait period. You can also see it under status. You can see it's waiting for the correct time. Now, I am outside of my 5 o'clock cutoff time. Remember, I set it to 9 to 5. So it's going to execute it the next available opportunity, which is going to be the next available business day. And at the time of recording this, I'm recording this Saturday. So it's going to wait until Monday and send that text, because I'm only open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So whatever you set that, it is good, because you're not going to just fire off random texts all through the weekend. There is a little trick here. If you wanted to actually push it forward, just hit this little running symbol and it would push them through the workflow, just in case you're working late and you do want them to get a text reply, and you want to override your settings. So as I override that, of course, now they get the missed call text back. And this is the one I just actually had set up. You just missed a call, and that is all set up and good to go. And that, my friends, is the missed call text back and the basics that you need to have to set up Follow Up Spark. So they are some of the immediate things that you can do to get this account up, running, and ready. There'll be more videos in the sequence, and feel free to use the Facebook user group so that you can really get familiar with just how powerful and awesome this program is. We'll talk to you soon.